Hey Slayers, and welcome to Road Rash for the Sega Genesis. Wait, this is not the Genesis version? Yep, that's right. This is Road Rash for the Sega Master System. Now, this is an unbelievable port, and you may be saying, well, wait, Road Rash is not on Sega Master System, and you would be right. Sorta. It's not on Sega Master System here in America. But it is on Sega Master System in Europe, and I don't know about Japan. This is a European release. Yeah, turns out a lot of games got European releases on the Master System because basically the Master System never died over there. Like, it was just basically immortal, and we all know it's immortal in Brazil, so I know this probably came out in South America. But the Master System, literally just, refused to die in those territories. So a lot of people, it's kind of like how you would do today and how I still see people only rocking Xbox 360s, even though the Series X is about to come out. But anyway, this port was developed by Probe Entertainment and published by US Gold. And you know US Gold, and they're pretty infamous. US Gold and Ocean, those two always here together, are pretty much infamous for the worst games basically on computer. But they got every big title under their belt. But anyway, this port of Road Rash is actually super fun, and it doesn't really change up a lot. As you'll notice though, the sprites are a lot smaller. Your characters are a lot smaller. The cars take the biggest hit, because when I tell you the cars are super small, look, there go one right there. Look how small that car is. Honestly, the sprites take the biggest hit, but this game is actually impressive when you see it's running on a Master System. This is an impressive port of Road Rash. Honestly, I was astonished when I put this in. I'm like, dude, this is super impressive. It's basically, it looks just like the Genesis version, only you get sprite. Only thing is, you get the sprites a lot smaller. Now, how does it play? Well, Road Rash 1 is fun. I'm more of a Road Rash 3 guy, but Road Rash 1, it plays just like Road Rash 1 on the Genesis, literally with smaller sprites and 8-bit music. And the music, I actually like a few tracks better in the 8-bit rendition than I do the actual 16-bit one. Like Pacific Coast, oh, it's a lot better in this version than it is the Genesis version. Which they're the same song, but I don't know, I just like that 8-bit feeling. And I love to see downgraded ports like this. I love to see games that come out for the new generation get ported to the older generation. I always just loved that feeling, dude. When the Xbox One games come out. I'm sorry for that little audio cut there, because my audio just refused to work and it got corrupted. So yeah, I lost half the audio, so I'm re-recording this. But as I was saying, I love Xbox. I love when consoles get downgraded ports of games, when an Xbox One game would come out, but it also get released on the 360. I always find it a less powerful version of a game meant for newer hardware more interesting than the actual newer hardware game. Road Rash 1 on Genesis is awesome, but dude, this version is so interesting and intriguing to me. The 8-bit version of the game is actually good. It doesn't suck. It can hang right up there with the Genesis version, no problem. Honestly, if I had to, I'm not gonna say you need to pick this version over the Genesis version, because the Genesis version is always going to be the better version. The more powerful console will, more times than not, have the more powerful version, but it doesn't always work out that way. Some consoles can. Sometimes the downgraded version is the better game than the newer version, which this one is a close comparison. It's close. The Genesis one just comes out on top a little bit, and that's only due to the bigger, in my opinion, that's only due to the bigger sprite size and still having the weapons. But even then, that's not really an edge, that big of an edge. This version is awesome, and if you're thinking about picking this version up for the Master System, or you're just going to emulate it, I highly recommend you do one of those, because this is a great version. It's interesting. It's so good. I don't understand. It's it almost really looks 16-bit to me. The only thing, like I said, different is that the sprites are just a little bit smaller. But other than that, I actually should have put a comparison to the Genesis version here. But if you go watch a Genesis video of the Genesis game and then look at this game, they're pretty much identical. Just the sprites are smaller and you get 8-bit music. And that 8-bit music is actually good. Like, it keeps the pictures of the 16-bit version and everything. Like, the presentation hasn't changed at all. Like, look, I actually got busted, and this menu looks exactly the same on the Sega Genesis. Like, it doesn't change at all. Like, this version of the game is completely worth it. Like I said, only things you lose in this version is you get smaller sprites, you get 8-bit music. It's still the same songs, just 8-bit renditions of the songs, and you lose weapons. But weapons didn't really do that much anyway, which I'm not gonna even say you lose weapons. Maybe I just didn't come across a weapon. Maybe they're still here, I just didn't come across one. But you still keep, I don't know if actually, no, I don't think you get to customize your bike in this version, if I'm not sure, but you might be. So I haven't checked, but I'm not gonna say you lose that feature until I check. And if I check and you don't lose that feature, I will leave a pinned comment down below. But if I don't leave that comment, you'll know you lose the feature of customizable bikes. But they didn't add much to the experience anyway. Road Rash is all about the gameplay, and the gameplay is still top notch here. You're not losing anything on the gameplay department. The gameplay is still top notch. You can even still ditch your bike, and you can still just keep on running. So that's always fun. The music is like perfect. The music is a good rendition. You lose weapons, you lose sprites. Not that big of a deal. This game is 100% worth it, and maybe there's a Game Gear version also, but I might want to start doing like weird Master System ports like once a week, because Europe will always got like more Master System games than we received, and the South America still receives them to this day. But the cars are so unbelievably tiny. I don't understand that. You're not, as far as I'm aware, you're not missing any tracks. I haven't played Road Rash 1 enough to actually know if you're missing any tracks or not. I think all the tracks are here. I think you have everything. Like, this is a perfect port. Like, I recommend, if you're gonna play this, emulate it. If you gotta buy it, do what you gotta do to play this. But this port is actually excellent. It's a 10 out of 10. While US Gold usually gets a bad rep in retro gaming world, at least in the European retro gaming world, they did publish a few games here in America too, for like the Commodore 64. This is one of their better titles. Like, I actually could not believe, and still can't believe, this is a Master System game. Like, I couldn't believe this was early Genesis. Just the sprites. You only really lose the sprites, and that's not even like a big deal. I know I keep saying it, but it's just like, it's crazy how you literally only lose sprites in this version. That's all you lose. Everything else here is intact. Like, it's 100% the same game. It's not a different really experience between whatever one you want to play. If you decide you want to play the Master System version, but you do lose the one button. I think you lose the brake button. Yeah, unless there's a, I couldn't test it because I'm on touchscreen and it doesn't allow you to press 2 buttons at one time. So, but you might lose the brake button. If I'm not too sure. Like, you might lose it. I don't know, because A is the drive and B is the hit. Punch your enemies. But I don't know if you actually lose the brake or not. And again, I'm sorry for the audio. I don't know why that keeps happening to me. But you don't lose too much in this version. I want to demonstrate here in a second how the run, you still have the ultimate, thing where you can just ditch your bike and just run. I mean, you'll lose the race every time. But although I do want to mention this, I do feel like the game feels a little bit harder. Now, I'm not going to say it actually is, but it feels a little bit harder to gain, like, I don't want to say speed, but it's not harder to gain speed. Also, I got hit by a car, so that was fun. But it's not harder to gain speed, but it is a little bit harder to get past, like, your opponents. Like, in the Road Rash games on Sega Genesis, I feel like you catch up with them so fast. But that's pretty much going to do it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Road Rash to the Sega Master System. And until next time, see you, Slayers.